Hello and welcome to this very beautiful chat that I am having with the gorgeous Lauren Violet. My name, of course, is Marina, and today we are going to talk about something very near and dear to my heart, which is our whole coaching certification. Whole as in W-H-O-L-E, and that we run through the School of Growth. And this is really close to my heart because for many years as a coach, I would have people come to me and say, Marina, I want you to coach me to be a coach. I want to be a coach like you. And I was like, that's such a huge undertaking. You know, I don't have time to create a curriculum. I don't have time to facilitate the level, the depth, and the length of the container that would be. And so often I would kind of have to leave them to fend for themselves in a world of kind of very honestly sketchy certifications. And then over time, enough years of being asked that, I finally kind of surrendered and dug in with support of my mentor, and then also all the additional work I'd done, created a really powerful certification that goes far and beyond what most people would classify as coaching. And I believe really does develop not only world-class coaches, but what I like to classify as transformational coaching. So it's mind, subconscious mind, body, somatics, and field energetics. And I believe that we do those three things better than anybody else. So Lauren is someone who has done whole, and I wanted to chat with her today because her journey has just been so beautiful. And I believe that you did whole, I'm going to say 2018. Would that be right?
Oof, yes.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about where you were at before you did whole.
I had made some huge changes in my life that year. I had stepped away from a relationship, a marriage. I'd ended a marriage, and right after I'd ended it, found out I was pregnant. So I'd ended this marriage and then had this fourth baby all on my own. And even when the separation happened, I was still a carer for my ex-husband. So I had a lot going on. Making these big changes in my life had just led to like feeling like the world was crumbling down around me a little bit. And
and what better time than to undertake a really deep... Yeah, that's hilarious.
Let's crumble a bit more. But it was funny because my youngest was 1, and my sister at the time was running these boot camps, these fitness boot camps in Kangaroo Point. Yep. And I was getting to the point of like, I've been full-time mumming for a year now, and I stepped away from study and I hadn't done any like extra courses or anything. Like my soul and my brain and everything about me gets like itchy. And it's like, I want to do something. I want to do more. I want to give to the world, serve the world. So she asked me to run a few of her boot camps, and I was like, yes. And as I was running them, I was enjoying it so much. I remember having this moment with the universe, and I was like, I'm ready. I want to do more. I'm ready to do more than just be a mum. And then Marina reached out to me and was like, oh, I'm going to be doing this coaching certification program. First time ever. It was the first one ever. It was with your mentor, Jeff. And I said yes.
What was the shift? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot.
Self-connection and this huge, and you know, I've taken it literally into every day of my life now. Even when studying psychology, it's this self thing where every relationship outside of you is this beautiful mirror, reflection, or playground for you to explore what the relationship with yourself is like. And this is where the huge energetic shift was like, yourself it's not just this body. Like, you go inside here and there's this whole fucking universe, and it's enormous, and it's ever expanding. It just is forever expanding and growing. It's infinite, it's eternal, and that is you. And it's this connection to self. That was the biggest shift that I had in whole.
I always say to people who are thinking about whole, and when they're like, well, I don't know if I want to be a coach, you know, that comes up sometimes if they've done other programs, and we're like, yeah. And I said that when I became a coach. I didn't even know what a coach was when I became a qualified coach, I should say. And so one of the things that I really witnessed in you as you went through whole, and I feel you're really speaking into here, is that as you go through and learn the processes that are tools that coaches gift and support others to utilize, inside the learning of that in a container as a coach, you are having those processes utilized on you. Yes. And you are sitting with them and being with them, and particularly beyond unconscious work, like when we start to move into the body, you're essentially, would you agree, Lauren, inside that container, you're going through the deepest, I would say, because you're getting every tool applied to you.
Yes.
You're going through the deepest growth work, inner work, personal development you could possibly imagine. And you personally are just being updated and upgraded,
Yes.
regardless of, oh, I'm a professional at this now. Like, that's almost secondary.
It happens to you first. It's like you don't coach someone until you've been coached, which is funny because it actually, as you were saying, I was like, oh, this is just like what I teach people about sex and self-pleasure or BDSM. It's like BDSM as a dom, you don't do anything to someone that you haven't experienced first as a sub. Or sex, you don't have sex with someone until you've explored your body first. So it's the same thing with the coaching. You have all
go
of that
within
first.
before you go out. And this is a great thing, I think, for people to recognize. Whole sets you up to be, because you learn to work with humans, right?
Yes.
And around anything. So after we learn unconscious, somatic, and energetics through aspect 1 and 2, we have a third aspect that helps you brand and position yourself and learn the business of becoming a personal brand or a coach or adding it to whatever skills you already have.
Yes.
And what I think is always interesting is some people will do whole and then they'll become business coaches. Some people will do whole and they'll become, sensuality, sexuality, BDSM coaches like you did. And that kind of reveals itself afterwards, but the foundational tools are so critical. And yet, as you and I are major advocates for, there's always more that we get to learn.
Always more.
Yeah. And so you kind of signing up essentially to be, hopefully, a forever student.
Forever.
And at the same time, though, you're teaching from that solid basis in being able to direct someone into themselves in a way that they've probably never been held or supported before, right? Would you agree?
Yes.
For you, I remember when you finished whole, you were, your personal energetic transformation, I remember it quite distinctly. You were, I feel like the biggest shift in you was somatically, if I can say that. Like it's almost like you arrived home in your body, like in a way I'd never seen before. You just became so present to pleasure in your body, so connected. And it's no coincidence then that, to me anyway, that, as time unfolded, you moved from sort of vanilla or let's say generic coaching, and it's like you naturally just slid deeper and deeper into that sensuality that I saw awaken
very
you.
Deeply.
Yeah. That I saw awaken in you in whole. And when did you know for yourself personally? So whole gave you all the fundamental tools, but when did you know I want to do it inside this really niche of a niche?
So whole gave me all those fundamental tools, and I started with women and feminine embodiment. And did not use the word sex or sexuality. It was all sensuality. And whole led me to other containers. This being said, other coaching containers. So I did other coaching containers like self-pleasure facilitation, sex and relationship coaching. And to this day, like whole is still, it is the best one. So like before, when Marina said there are lots of dodgy coaching certs out there, she's not wrong. I was blessed to do some amazing ones, and whole is still the best. And I've resat whole. So whole led me to, other containers where I just kept going deeper and deeper. Like it was tantra, and then it was self-pleasure, and then it was BDSM, and then it was kink, and then it was this. I came back and redid whole, and the second time I redid it helped me really like own that niche, like my niche of sexual freedom and all things taboo, and like owning and claiming like, I'm a sex coach, like sex and relationship coach.
And given, and I speak into this a lot, that in our culture, in our society, well, sexuality holds the greatest amount of collective shame. It's the greatest shadow. And one of the things that I love about you, Lauren, and you're such a beautiful guardian and facilitator for us in the School of Growth. So I get to contrast you against other coaching graduates that we've had. But one of the things I most love about you and the archetype that you kind of stand for is, I think that to be a really, I suppose, empowered or powerful coach, you do yourself have to change your relationship to your edge, right? You do need to become what I classify as a growth getter, someone who is like, cool, I'm really happy here. And you know what? I'm happy over time when I feel called to stretch my edges, to grow. And, that'll occur at everyone's own pace. Lauren is this beautiful human that is like hungry for the edge. Truly, you really are. And it's beautiful to watch. And even there are times where I see you going for it and I'm like, I'm just going to hang on back here. I'm just going to hang on right back here. And you could go there and you could do that. So what I love about you is that you are at times, for particularly our community, a trigger, right? In a beautiful way.
Thank you.
And she gets to be this sort of shadow, really deeply shadow safe. You know, the most amount of potential light is held folded in to the shadow, right? This is why we go into our shame and we go into our secrets and we go into our disowned parts to access life force.
Yes.
And Lauren is just someone that when you came into this world of growth, you got so quickly, what's the word? Like you were magnetized to, and I think so deeply nourished by the edge that to me, the fact that you ended up so deeply saying kink and BDSM, which is not just inside the container of sexuality, which is like, ooh, a little bit uncomfy for society. You've gone so deep into it that you're like, where is the darkest shadow that we have? And that's where I'm going to bring the light.
How can we bring love to that? Like all your shadows are welcome here. And like for me, it's like an honor. It is such an honor and a privilege to be able to hold that space for anyone. To be able to be like, all your shadows are so welcome here. The darkest part of you that you are just the most ashamed of, like, that is welcome here.
Yeah.
And we can hold that.
Yeah. And you also, I will say, do such a beautiful job of speaking into, speaking about, and meeting people in that with an air of education, everydayedness. Do you know what I mean? As in, not to casualize it, but to destigmatize it. There is just an energy of, hey, let's talk about this. And the way that you do it grants people access. So for me, again, this is the beauty, you know, that I get out of coaching coaches is like, that's not my work to do in the world. Like, that's not my mission on my heart. And yet having, you know, been with you, walked with you and supported you as you uncovered your niche in a way that like no one else on the planet is here to do it the way you do it, with the level of professionalism and the beauty and the unconditional love that you bring to it. And so our job is to help you do exactly what Lauren did. Like, not all of you, if you're thinking about whole, are meant to do kink and BDSM. But if you're listening going, wow, well, I don't want to be doing BDSM and kink, of course not. And when Lauren first did whole, she had no idea that's where she would end up. And yet it's the perfect fit for her. And there will be others who will speak into relationship, and there'll be others who will speak into parenting, and there'll be others who will end up just holding space for eating disorders, and there'll be people who hold space for, you know, money issues. But the core thing is, in any of those realms, we're always working with the person, right? Like, as you come back to what you were saying before, like accessing your power and coming into what works in here, those fundamental tools are what we as coaches get masterful at, so that regardless of what it is we end up niching into, we're powerful and impactful in the ways that we're meant to be. And that's what I love about you. I just often think about this program and its impact. By giving you the confidence and you the alignment and you the tools. It's like, look where you took them.
And then it ripples. The impact on others is amazing. Doesn't matter what niche you find yourself in. It's the one that lights you up, and there is so much bliss and fulfillment in having that soul aligned purpose and mission realized within yourself. This is something amazing you'll get out of whole, is like getting in touch and in alignment with your soul mission, like your purpose in life. And for me, like, it lights me up. It like sets my entire body and being an energetic field around me on fire.
Can you tell?
Every day. It is like a soulgasm. It's like an entire jizz fest for your soul. It's amazing.
And I love that because, you know, our mission at the School of Growth, and for me simultaneously, is to unfold light, right? That's it. That's what I've distilled it down to, is just to help the planet, the universe, unfold light. And every single person that a coach needs to unfold their light. It's like, what in me is aligned with the greatest amount of life force energy, you know, eros, or just light, right? And then how do I bring my magic, my medicine, my message to the world in a way that then ignites another and another? And that's the ripple effect that like gives me a soulgasm, is seeing Lauren so lit up in her purpose and so aligned with her soul's mission. It's like, now I can just lay back in a full post-orgasmic glow, because that's job done for me. My job is to help light workers step into their power and deliver their message in alignment with their soul. Done. But Lauren, what would you say to anyone who is thinking about undertaking Whole as a program, as a portal to their own growth or their professional development, whether they want to become a coach or not, what would you say?
Say to them, fuck yes.
Do it.
Fuck yes, fucking do it. And if you are unsure whether you want to coach or not, like, do it for you. Start with you. Do it for you. It's like I would say to you, like, self-pleasure, and connect to your body first and find out what you like first before you go and fuck all the other people or make love to all the other people. Do it for you. Like, get to know your soul, your unique energetic signature on this planet, and then, if and when you're ready, go and share. Well, it will be when you're ready, go and share that with the world in your own way. Yeah, maybe it's just being a mum.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just being a parent.
Oh gosh, imagine if just every parent did something like Whole.
One day they will.
Yeah, because then like the generational stuff that would just stop in its tracks. I like Whole. I pray for that day. You know, head to our website if you want to get links to Lauren, and also, you know, check out Lauren if you're someone who is feeling like you have expansion to do around your sexuality, or you want to explore, you know, deeper realms inside those classically considered shadow aspects, BDSM and kink. Lauren is your girl. You will not feel safer with anyone else. You will not be better educated by anyone else. I can completely stand for your magic in this space, and so definitely reach out to her.
Yummy, thank you. I fully receive that. Lit me up. Thank you. Do it.
Thank you. Yes, and if you have any other questions about Whole, head to the School of Growth website, grab the curriculum, book yourself a clarity call, find out if it is right for you. But certainly don't just sit there wondering, you know, choose, move forward, ask questions, get curious, and we will support you and help you decide if it is the right choice for you right now.